Hello, everybody. Welcome to the virtual yard. This is Fitness Feb. This is the end of our Fit for Feb fitness challenge, which we've done over 2 weeks.
All the pictures and videos and comments and everything in the WhatsApp group and everywhere else. And I think there's been some real good progress, individual gains. And I don't think it's going to be exclusive of this February month. I think it's going to continue. And that's hopefully the plan to keep people moving afterwards. But first and foremost, we've had two wonderful sponsors for this Fit for Feb event. So Mindful Movement, which obviously we'll talk to Hayley a little bit about your business there, and also Red Sail Sports, who have both kindly donated some wonderful prizes for you guys to access as well. So super excited about that, and a big thank you. But tonight we're going to do a bit of Q&A with both Rabia and Hayley tonight to talk about their fitness and health and wellness journeys. We've got a nice little poll just to get some of your thoughts and feelings around sort of health related activity. And we're going to do a couple of little movement activities as well, and some movement related activities before we do the prize draw at the end. So activity, interestingly, most people have put sort of gym based. Closely followed by running, walking, dog walking, and then sport as well. Who put sport, and if so, what sport was it, just out of interest? Kate, what was your sport?
I played badminton for the first time in a million years.
Nice.
25 years probably, and it was actually really fun, and that fitted in with the kind of doing things with friends. I think I really enjoyed it because it was so different, which ties into my biggest barrier, which is motivation and I don't like to use the word bored because I never get bored really, but just doing the same thing, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Whereas so I think that the badminton, bringing the sports and the friends into it, I think it was just doing something different. I was like, yeah, okay, it's fun.
Chasing the shuttlecock round the court is a little bit different to just like running in like one motion. And also you do equestrian too, right? So that's
I do, yes, I should count that. I do a lot of equestrian and yard work. That's not boring, but
poo kicking is the other. Poo kicking is the other.
Poo picking, yeah, exactly.
Did anyone else put a sport, or was it just?
I put ultimate.
Oh, of course, ultimate frisbee. So
of course.
We saw your pictures in the group as well. So how's that been this month?
It's been okay. So usually I don't do any training.
Mm-hmm.
I just rock up to tournaments because I'm female and they would need females. But lately I was like, oh, maybe I should actually try and better myself in the sport and do some training. So yeah, I've been going to some outdoor trainings with in Manchester though. And then just last week I started going to Leeds Beckett University indoor trainings. So that's only just up the road. And then I tried going to York City Ultimate trainings as well, which is also indoors. So also making new friends and like learning new drills, I guess. So yeah, it's been good.
Nice. It's quite difficult to just rock up and compete without training. So you must be doing pretty well to still turn up and know like who your teammates, like how they work, and you know, still being able to kind of make it.
It just means no pressure though. So like if you mess up, it's just like, well, I usually don't play with you guys. So for the most part, like they do use me because I'm not terrible.
Yeah. That's good.
And can I interject here just to say that I went to Leeds to watch a ultimate frisbee tournament once a few years back. I was very impressed as I didn't know what ultimate frisbee was, so I enjoyed it very much. I was spectator, obviously not playing, but it was really cool. And
that was a low standard, Kate. Imagine you watching an elite game.
Wow, it looked pretty high standard to me.
Love that. So on the barriers then, we had time and motivation is definitely two high ones. We had other as quite a high one. So like Kate, you put in the chat about the sort of being bored and frustrated with exercise after a little while. So there's that a little bit what you were saying earlier, just in kind of like it maybe not losing that fun element, the social element, doing stuff individually. Yeah. Anyone else on the other? Were there any other things that people kind of felt? Gabriella?
Yeah, go ahead, Gabriella.
Oh yeah, for me it's injury because I had an ankle roll back in October, and then I thought it was fine, and then I re-rolled it in December at a tournament. So I haven't really been pushing myself as properly because my physio said I cannot afford to re-roll it again within the next 6 months. So I've just been kind of not going as full as I should. So I've been, so it's a bit, because it kind of also makes me demotivated whilst I'm doing the sport because I know I could be doing better. So it kind of makes me want to not do it sometimes. Yeah.
That's a good one, and it happens a lot. It's so common, you know. It's that whole if you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing as well. So it's like you want to make sure that you're proactively kind of protecting your body, but at the same time not overexerting and then ending up injured. So
injury is a really good point. I've got a rotator cuff injury. It's been they're all long term, they're all long things, and I always knew that, but God, it really does. It's that fine line between making sure you're strengthening all the other muscles, but not overdoing the actual injury itself. So it's a very fine line. So that's a good one. I missed that. But yeah, Gabriella, really good point.
Rabia, you were gonna.
Yeah, for me, because I need to run a lot outside, it's the weather. The weather, huge deterrent. Because, and then also the other thing would be my health, because I can't see properly. So, you know, it just doesn't help when the weather is like bad and slippy and it's raining and all that stuff. So because of that too, sometimes I need someone to go with me. So obviously if I don't have a guide runner, then that's a huge deterrent. And then that forces me to do all of my runs on the treadmill, which is not fun. But I think a lot of people living in climates like this, I think the weather is a huge deterrent, because you wake up in your warm bed and the last thing you want to do is get up and go out to the gym, you know? It's chilly, and I think that hugely affects your motivation as well.
Yeah, definitely weather. I can think when it's the winter months and it's wet and windy outside, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is even leave my house to get in the car to go to the gym, let alone run outside. That's just not happening. So you have to be very motivated for sure.
Sorry, I was going to say, for me, I find that all the most exciting activities that I would love to do, like salsa dancing, etc., bachata, all of that. A lot of these activities are scheduled at like 9 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night, ballroom. You know, in this area, obviously, if I go a little further afield, and that's bedtime for my son. Yeah. It's not, and you know,
bedtime for me.
Sorry, say it again. It's a good time.
It's bedtime for me.
Yeah, bedtime for me, to be honest. You know, at 9 o'clock, I'm like, my energy is low, even on a weekend, even if a Saturday night, you know, Jana can attest to this. Like, you have to get me out at 7 to keep me out. Once you get me out early, I can stay out. But to try to get out at 9, 10 o'clock at night, it's just, I'm not there right now. Maybe in 10 years, you know, when my son has flown the coop, but just find like all the exciting things I want. I'm like, I want to sign up for this. And I'm like, well, I won't go consistently. I'll go one night. And then after that, I'll be like, you know, this isn't doable. Although, I mean, you can dance at home, but it is nice to be instructed also, or be part of a troupe of dancers. So I would say that's the timing of things as a mother of a young child. It's usually a barrier.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you, Rita, that 10-year thing, because I'm way older than you, it's not going to get better, honey. I do not want to go anywhere at 10 o'clock at night.
I want to be just like that.
It's okay, though. It's okay. It's surprisingly, you're going to get older and you're going to be happy to just put on your pajamas and just sit there. It's wonderfully liberating.
I agree. Yeah.
Pajama time. One of the other ones, I don't know whether you felt this, Hayley, before, but when you actually work in the fitness industry as well, sometimes you can actually be like really demotivated, because you might be like teaching classes. And some of them are physically active, so like spin, you're doing it, but like circuits, you could just be standing. And then it's like,
watching.
then you're like, the last thing I want to do is go and do a workout now. And it's just,
Actually, the biggest struggle I come with, because I do teach, when I teach my strength classes, I tend to do it because I like to show the form and technique. Obviously, I am checking, but is burnout. So I teach, but then I don't want to go to the gym and overwork, especially my legs. So getting my strength training in is really one of my battles, where I don't want to overwork myself, exhaust myself, and then just never recover. Also, my children need me to run around after them. So there's this, I very much struggle with a balance. I'm actually looking into getting my own personal trainer once a week, just to keep it, so I have it booked into my schedule of, I know when it's happening. And yeah, so that's a very good point. I find that very challenging. Yeah, for sure.
Which is funny, because you just think, it's like you imagine like every dentist has like the most perfect teeth, right? And it's just like with fitness, it's no different. You just feel there are just as much challenges for people in the industry too. So
100%.
I think just finding the time, like, you know, just being so active in life and having to cook dinner every day and having to make breakfast. I mean, it just goes into the working every day and just doing everything, just finding that personal time, you know, as I go through my life, just trying to redirect some time to that and going, is it Hayley that just spoke?
Yeah.
Am I saying, yeah. Hey, yeah, you know, maybe just having somebody there. And Rita has really been there for me, right? She'll call me out. She'll be like, let's go, let's get on it. So it's really been helpful to me too, to say, you know what, even though I haven't managed to put this time directly in my schedule, I can say, yes, you know what, Rita, I can go with you for this hour now. And I just need to schedule that time in. And I don't know if it could be with a personal trainer, because, you know, I like my own space and to be in my own kind of head when I'm exercising. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I like that. It kind of takes me in another direction too, because exercise is not just physical, it's also mental. Right? And it clears your head and you get time to think through things. And so that's been a barrier for me, actually trying to get somebody to help me too. But I think going forward, just making a better schedule.
And I think the thing you mentioned there with Rita is the accountability buddy, and that works really well for anything. You know, if somebody has a similar goal, and they can be a bit like, "Hey," give you like that little nudge. Because it's like a good guilt. You know, if it's got to be the right kind of person, it's not the person to be like, "Have you gone?" And you know, and there's like. But it gives you that kind of, actually, if you're going to go with them, you feel that like, well, I'm going to maybe let them down if I don't go to yoga with them. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, you know, and it just...
go to yoga with them.
Yeah, I will. I will, don't worry. Yeah, you know, and that keeping up that accountability with Rita, going to that yoga class. Thanks, Ash.
Sorry, I'm starting on the head.
It's fine. It's just you know, it's just things that happen.
We love each other dearly. Jana's my sister.
And
so.
making that schedule time, Rita, I did say that. Making that schedule time to do those things. Yeah, we do. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that everybody's gotten exercise. I'll be honest with you, this kind of this February fitness, I really like it, because it's kind of like, even though I don't always respond in the group and stuff, I read what people are doing, and that motivates me as well. So good luck to everybody. Keep on doing the good jobs you guys are doing, you know, and it will keep on putting your stuff in the chat, because it is helpful.
Thanks, Jana. That's so encouraging. So lovely to hear. And that's the thing, is it is just about that little spark. You know, it might not be that you feel that month is the right time for you to be super active, because it may be a really heavy work month, or it could be, you know, just you could be injured or whatever, but just giving you that little nugget or that little spark. And something you said there about scheduling. One thing that comes to mind for me as well is not setting yourself up for failure. So one thing that I learned, I used to get really frustrated with myself, because I used to have friends who used to do like real late night. It was either a late night or early morning sessions. And I was like, I'm not like massive early bird. I'm not a 5 a.m. kind of girl, like get up and go running or anything like that. So I would kind of try, but then I would find I was resenting it and it become a chore. And then I would just find myself just procrastinating and not wanting to do it and finding excuses. But it's like, well, actually, it fits better for me if I do a lunchtime walk, you know, to get away from the desk at work. But then also, you know, after work, just the sweet spot, just after work, before then I make dinner, that's a good time for me to go to the gym. But if you try and do what everyone else is doing, because it's like, oh, you know, I can do real late nights or early mornings. If that's not you, then also I think just stay true to like what works for you in your life, you know, as well. So just wanted to say that. And then with the most helpful thing, we've had fun is definitely the highest one, which I think it just goes without saying. At the end of the day, if something's going to be fun, whatever it is, you want to do more of it, right? But everything else is pretty split. The convenience, sharing progress, doing activity with friends, etc. So we're going to go around the room, the virtual room, and we're going to do an A to Z of movement activities. So you've got to come up with something for each letter. That is either it can be a sport, a physical activity, a movement. But if you can put a little Cayman twist on it, that would be even better. So I will give you an example. For S, you may say swimming at 7 Mile Beach, for example, or something at Stingray City. So you will have like a letter. So Rita will start with A, keep going till we get to Z.
Did you put yours in?
I'm observer here, okay?
No, actually. We'll get to tomorrow morning.
Okay.
No, come on, no.
I'm sorry, Rita. It just, you know, just in case you get stuck, I'm here as like that life, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'm like
moral support.
Thing. Yeah, exactly. So A, Rita. Off we go. A.
Do I have to do an action?
If you want.
A.
It's an easy one, Rita.
No, the Cayman twist.
Okay.
I was gonna say like you know, like acting at the Hartwell Theatre.
All right.
That is very physical. A lot of physical theater happens. So acting at the Hartwell. Nice. That's it.
Nice. Rabia.
Strike a pose.
B.
There's lots of things for B. Baseball in Boddington.
Nice. Also, the other thing doesn't have to be the same letter. So it could be like basketball. You know what I mean? So otherwise it will be quite long. So yeah.
No Brac, Rabia? Really?
Love that. Gabriella. B.
I should have thought about this. Climbing at King Sports Center.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's the only place I can think that has a climbing wall.
Yeah. Love that. Kate.
Well, it's got to be dancing at
Mindful movement.
Salsa Tuesdays.
That's true. Yeah, I think Hayley wanted a movement on that one as well. She wanted to see the demonstration.
Yeah, I teach dance. And it wants to come to my dance class. I do.
Yeah. Hayley, what's
dance? Great. I might private message you. That's something.
Please do. Exciting. E.
So,
that's very okay. E. Okay. This should be easy.
E.
We said something that Kate likes to do earlier. We mentioned one that begins with E.
Like Hayley used to do. She'd like to do badminton. That definitely it's not an E. I don't know.
Rita's we're giving you a little bit of a demo.
Yeah, sorry. What are you doing?
Do I have to do my head with it?
That's all I don't know what you are doing.
We're really bad at charades.
Oh, equestrian.
Supposedly, that's what that was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, equestrian just right next door to me.
Okay.
Where is next door to you, Hayley?
The equestrian centre outside the airport.
Oh, that's where you.
farm.
All right, there we go. Awesome, Jana. F.
Oh, F. Is fishing considered a sport?
Yes.
For
it
exercise?
is.
Well, fishing off of the Marl Hole in West Bay.
Yes.
I
Nice
love fishing
one.
too.
Good. Yes, definitely active. G, Rita.
Gee. Golfing down the behind Ritz.
Nice. You're having a bit of a different day out with your golfing from the acting. Okay. Rabia, you are H.
Oh my God, H. Does the place have to begin with the same letter?
No.
Can I say high jump?
Yep.
High jump in watering place, because that's Cayman Brac. It's not all about Grand Cayman. People.
Yes, nice.
Right.
All right. Gabriella, your I.
Okay. Iguana hunting at my poolside.
No.
Culling.
Because that can be very physically demanding.
Depending how fast they are.
What my mom likes to do, she likes to trap them in the pool. So that, yeah. And then
Green iguanas,
my
everyone.
dog will be around.
Yeah, green ones. Yeah.
The green ones, obviously. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Iguana hunt, like that one. J. Kate.
Jiu-jitsu on a paddleboard.
Woo!
Okay.
You good.
We'll wait to see the
talking a
demo.
real- Core strength here. Core strength.
Love that. A lot of core. Hayley, K.
Kite surfing at South Sounds.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Love that one. L, Jana. This is testimony.
Limbo. I
Woo!
go on Holiday Inn.
Oh.
Yeah,
Fun. Sounds
Took
like
us-
fun.
That sounds like a good day. I'd love to do all of these back to back. It'd be iguana hunting and then limbo and then, a bit of
No
equestrian.
jujitsu on paddleboard, Ashley.
And they're going hunting.
Yeah.
Rita M.
M. It's a double promotion for you. I was going to say mindful movement.
Yes. Yes.
With Hayley.
I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Just me as a human. Just I am in.
Mindful movement. We like that with Hayley. Okay, so Rabbi, you got N.
Netball in spot A.
Yeah, nice. Netball. So then, Gabriella.
One second.
She peaked at iguana hunting. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Da na 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 na.
You got it. Come on, you got it.
Yes, you do. You have it. Oh, can we help? Can we help?
If you want a lifeline, you can go to somebody else.
I like how this game evolves.
All I can think of is two things, which organ playing, which isn't really like that, and octopus wrestling. And I don't know why I'm thinking of those two things.
I mean, let's go with octopus wrestling. Let's just do it. Why not? It's free, right? Rita, just have interest. What was your help going to be?
Well, hers is much more interesting.
Okay. All right.
It was osprey training.
Okay. All right.
Bird.
We're going to move swiftly on from that one. Kate, P.
I'm going to do just plain old paddleboarding with no jiu-jitsu as well.
Cool. Just where are you going to be doing it though? What specific?
Definitely 7 Mile Beach. Yeah, nice and calm.
Okay, cool. Hayley Q. Sorry. Sorry.
You can make stuff up.
Literally just going to be making stuff up now. I'm like, quad.
Oh, you said something.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
Kate, she's like, what's that? What's that?
Yeah, what?
There's, I don't know if they played here though. There's quad. There's the thing with the
Quidditch.
What is it?
Quidditch.
Is it played here?
I don't know about Cayman.
Quidditch is an international sport. I'll have
It
you
is.
know.
It is an international sport. It's just not something I've seen very often.
No.
It's more of a unique
It's played at
international sport.
universities.
Yeah, it's
Universities tend to have them.
Yeah, it's a buck sport, and they use like a sock to put the snitch in, and it's
Yes.
yeah,
It's very Harry Potter.
very. But also for Q, there was because you said quad, right? Because then there's quadrathlon,
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
but it's
That was a good one.
yeah. So Q
Again, more unusual.
Jana, your R.
Running 7 Mile Beach.
Running 7 Mile Beach.
Mhm.
I'm going to encourage as well if we can get some more of the sister islands in too. We're very heavy on the 7 miles, so we're going to try and go a little.
Yeah, we're gonna stay away from there.
Yeah. S Larissa.
Scuba diving
Yeah.
on the wall.
Nice. All right, scuba diving. Rabia T.
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. Where are you doing your taekwondo?
West End, Cayman Brac.
Nice.
And she does
Gabriella.
Tai Chi too, you know?
Yeah.
Not true?
Qigong.
Qigong. Okay.
Yeah.
You are you, Gabriella.
Ultimate on public beach.
Oh.
It just so happens you got you. How did that happen? Public beach, nice. And V, Kate.
Volleyball at that's Little Cayman somewhere, and I'm probably Point to Sand, but volleyball on Point to Sand, Little Cayman.
Nice. W, Hayley.
Any weight training in any of the islands.
Yes.
Good.
Like open one.
Very inclusive.
Very.
Jana X.
Well, extra time in a football game in Northside. That's the one I can think of. And isn't.
Yeah,
We'll take it.
definitely take it. Rita, why?
Why? Yodeling don't count.
You've got a good one. We just talked about it earlier. You're trying to get Jana to go.
Yoga?
Yeah.
Okay. Yoga on the bluff.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
You get blown over and die.
No, you're not gonna go on the edge, you know.
Very peaceful. Very peaceful. Rabia, you're finishing us off with Z.
Oh God, I am going to cheat with this one because I had to look this one up. It's Zorb football.
Zorbing, yeah.
It's so much fun. Yes.
So much fun.
And I am going to do that at Steak Bay, Cayman Brac.
Yes. Keeping the brack in the chat. I love it. Awesome.
Nice.
Well, that was, thank you for getting involved. I think one of the great things about the A to Z is it just reminds us how many things are physical activities. And obviously we tend to think of like typical sports or gym and fitness is like the main things we can do, but there are so many things that just get us moving and our heart racing, and all of those things are good for our hearts, our mind, our body, our soul. So, and swiftly moving into that is, Hayley's ethos of her business, Mindful Movement, and the fact that it is, you know, not just about that physical, but it's also about looking at activities that make us feel good alongside that. So I'm going to bring you in now, Hayley, if you don't mind, if you could just give us a little bit of an intro in terms of who you are, what you do, where you're based, and how you've landed in Cayman would be great.
Of course. I'm Hayley, as you all know. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you for having me here. I moved to Grand Cayman exactly 4 years ago with my husband and then one child, and I have two. One of my youngest was born here. We came here for my husband's job. He's a lawyer. No, that's a bad thing. He is a lawyer. And I was a stay-at-home mum for 3 years. We decided that that's how we wanted our family life to plan out as such. 3 years later, I decided I want to go back to work because being at home with children is hard. One of the hardest jobs I've ever had. And I decided to get back into my fitness and dance. So long story short, a dancer my whole life. Since I was 2, I competed to quite a high level. I gained the title of 6-time Scottish champion for ballet. So it is classically trained. Kept fit my whole life though. Taught Zumba in my teenage years when it was all the trend. Very trendy. And I taught boogie bounce on the trampolines. And I got my dance teacher certificate when I was 19. Anyway, when I wanted to open my own company here, I didn't want to just go down one avenue. I think movement is such a broad thing. It's a personal thing. And that's why I called my company Mindful Movement. I feel trends are very toxic. It makes us feel bad if we're not hopping on those trends in regards to if everyone's weightlifting, why are we not all weightlifting? And if we all want, you know, Zumba exactly the same. And there's this sense of guilt if we don't feel comfortable in that movement, which I just think needs to be stripped away. Sometimes I want to dance. Sometimes I want to get on a spin bike. Sometimes I want to lift weights. And it depends on how I'm feeling physically and mentally of what I want to do. And I very much teach my clients that it has to be a lifestyle. And the only way you can sustain it as a lifestyle is if you enjoy it and you're truly listening to your body. As Rabia said, sometimes you need to strip it back to a breathing exercise. That is so important. If we don't feel like we're resting enough, that we're opening our bodies enough, we're never going to be able to do the weight training. So in my sessions with my clients, I always try and portray that message to them that never feel any guilt. Move in the way that you feel more organic to you, especially on that day, because we're tired. There's a lot of obstacles. It doesn't mean we're not reaching our goals. It just means we're going around them a different way. I teach contemporary, I teach spin, I teach weight training, I teach 2-year-olds how to jump around like bunnies. I literally, I'm just very much about mental health. They both go hand in hand, which a lot of people forget. A lot of people think it's aesthetically. That's the last part. It's mentally, and then how strong and easily we can move with each movement. So yeah, that's where I came up with my company, and I'm very passionate about giving that message to others. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. No, it's super inspiring, and I think it's really refreshing, because I think sometimes we think about personal trainers or fitness instructors just out of interest, who's had or used a personal trainer or is in the past or currently. You know, you may have had an experience where somebody's been really good and helpful at kind of holistically getting you to understand, you know, it's not just about the, you know, the aesthetics and the tangible kind of physical goals, like how much weight you're losing or how much, you know, muscle you're gaining, but it's also about the nutrition and how well you're sleeping and how hydrated you are, and mentally and spiritually how you know, your wellness in that sense. And I just wonder, Hayley, you mentioned goals and stuff as you were just speaking there, like what do you think is a good ingredient or a good approach to goal setting? Do you believe in goal setting? How do you find that with your clients it's most effectively implemented?
So I do believe in goal setting to a certain degree, but I have seen more often than not illnesses injuries, they get in the way. So that makes somebody feel defeated. So I always use the terms lifestyle. And I always, in every session, in every class, I'm like, you're doing this for the long term. This isn't just about that short goal that you have to have that 6-pack in 6 weeks. Like, you can still reach your goals, but be patient with yourself. Consistency is key, even if it's some time of different movement. And with nutrition very much coming into that, I have a hard time with clean eating. That isn't a lifestyle. Do you know, we all want to eat cake. Carbs are fine. White pasta is fine. And I think if it just became more of an everyday thing with movement and food, we wouldn't have to have these such strict goals, or this stripping of everything, or this hardcore hitting with cardio or these diets that are up and down. It would just be more of a consistency where there's no guilt with whatever, you know, as long as everything is in proportion, then everything is fine. You know, any extreme is not good. So goal setting is fine as long as you're realistic with it.
Yeah,
I think that's very
100%. And I just want to bring Rabia in on this, because goal setting is clearly something you're really good at. We can learn a lot from you on it. So when you know, your first ever, you know, long run that you decided to do, your first competition, how did you go about setting your goal to do it and make it happen?
How did I go about that? Well, the first, I've always, you know, run, but just recreationally, like not like I'm going to do a marathon kind of thing. When I decided to do that, I'm just a stickler for promises to myself. I don't like to talk. I don't use the word like a goal, really. I just call it, you know, I think just saying I'm going to make a promise to myself that I'm going to do my best. You know, I think a lot of people focus on like, they want to do something, they kind of just focus on the end goal, and they don't focus on the journey to get there. And in all of the experiences I've had, I found that the journey is the most beautiful part, because when you make these promises to yourself and you're keeping them, you know, you need to just go slowly. And like Hayley was saying, be flexible. Like not every day you might get to do what you set out to do, but if you do something small, or, you know, maybe if you couldn't get to run that day, you couldn't get to do the gym, maybe you could just do some floor exercises at home. But it's very important, I think, the words that you choose to use with yourself, words are very powerful. And so I feel like if you use the word that I'm going to promise myself that I'm going to do A, B, C, and D, and I'm going to do that to the best of my ability without injury. This is the kind of language that I use with myself, with my friends, with my children, to not put so much pressure, and thereby to focus more on the journey that you're going to have. Because, you know, it's about looking every day about being better than you were yesterday. It's not just about 3 months from now or a year from now or at the end of the marathon. You know, when you look at what you achieved, you know, just from yesterday to today, sometimes that alone was hard. You know, sometimes you're a mom but you did it. So I really important to watch the language that you use with yourself. And I think using the word, I'm going to promise myself, because that word is kind of really powerful for us subconsciously. We're used to thinking that we're supposed to keep promises, and the most important promise you can make is to yourself.
I love that. I love that intention setting and the affirmation approach, almost to, you know, giving yourself something that's realistic, but it's kinder to yourself rather than, and, you know, we've probably all heard that phrase, you know, work out because you love your body, not because you hate it. And it can be really tough, you know, with social media and comparison and all of those things. It can be hard to do that, but actually, you know, I really love that approach, Rabia. So thanks for sharing. And I think just on that, you mentioned something about, you know, something that made me think about tying into us, and everybody on the call is, you know, we're all women here, who I think it's quite an important point, which I think I would like to touch on next, is you know, and coming to you, Hayley, as you know, a female working in the industry, you know, we tend to see there are lots of things that affect, you know, physical activity patterns as women, whether that's, you know, childcare, birth, pregnancy, whether that's menstrual cycles, whether that's body image, or, you know, so many different things that come into that. So, you know, why do you think it's, you know, important for women to feel empowered and inspired to be physically active, but not feel too pressured, because actually there's so much at play there?
100%. That's a lot to unravel, because obviously that can delve into very many different sections. The women, I mean, we know we're phenomenal. Deep down, we know we are. Of course. I do find it difficult with social media, as I'm sure we all do. We all question ourselves, especially with what's being portrayed and things of certain ways to look, of how you should look with the tiny waist. And I just want to scream that they've got a narrow rib cage. Like, nothing's going to give you that narrow waist. It's genetics. I think with women, and you touch base there on our cycle, it's huge. I'm very much looking into that right now and teaching myself. We should actually treat our bodies differently the week before our cycles and stuff. Our iron levels are lower, things are getting pulled, and we just need to take more into consideration with our bodies, and be mindful of how we're using it, especially during those times. Also, our hips, especially. We need to strengthen our hips. We need to work out slightly differently to how especially a 17-year-old teenager would work out, especially if we've been through certain different things. So I think we always just need to keep in that mind when we're working out our own bodies. All of our bodies have been through different things, and our hormones are constantly changing. I have Hashimoto, so I have an underactive thyroid. I have a hormonal imbalance. So best believe there's some weeks where I'm not feeling my best. I've inflamed, but then I really just need to do more of my resting, more of my breathing, more of my stretching, and I don't lift any heavy weights because my body doesn't want it. And I think listening to my body the older I get is helping me. And I wish I could tell myself 15 years ago to really just go with what's going on with me. I am not made like other people, and that is fine. And I think it's just something, especially as females, we're told we should have small waists, bigger glutes right now. But 15 years ago, we were told to be straight up and down and tiny. I mean, you just can't keep, or maybe we can just be who we are and work out the way that feels best for us and what our bodies have been through and how we're feeling. So it's huge right now, and especially right now because of social media. It's very, very hard to watch, actually.
Be who you are. I think that was the, you know,
who you are.
Such a key, you know, you can't do anything but just be who you are. And
exactly.
You know, I see a lot of your posts that you post on your social media. If you don't follow Hayley, make sure to follow after this or during this. You do put some really like empowering content out around kind of like the reminder of, you know, I think you did something about your stomach and the fact you've got organs and stuff. Like remind, you have organs. You have organs. That's why
we all. No, we all breathe. As ladies, especially, are taught to hold in our stomachs. We're supposed to have flat stomachs. We're not supposed to have flat stomachs. We have wombs, we have uteruses, we have organs. And so it's very much, if we're breathing properly, we need to let go of that gut and really breathe deep. And that's how we feel better about ourselves too. Nobody has a flat stomach. It's just people pose as if they do, or they hold everything in. But it's not healthy for us, and it's not natural. It's just what we've been trained to think. And I want to try and remind everyone that it is normal. It's fine.
And reframe it. I think I really love seeing that stuff that you post out. It is great. So
thank you.
And whilst we're on the female element, Rabia, we were talking before the call about you've got 4 incredible girls, you know, that you're a mother to. And I just wonder from your perspective, I guess 2 questions really. One is, what do you think, you know, is how do you tend to approach kind of inspiring and motivating them when it comes to being physically active? And I guess from your perspective, there must have been somebody down the line who inspired you to start off with your fitness journey. And maybe that was a female, it may not be, but just interested as to who that might be.
Yeah, no, for me, I didn't really have like, I wasn't really inspired to fitness per se when I was a little girl raised up in Cayman Brac. That was the 70s, you know, I know you guys can't even imagine the 70s, but it was lovely. And it was that martial arts was the rage. So I fell in love with Bruce Lee. And yeah, so that would have been he was my icon. And, you know, he was very lean and fast. And I said, I'm going to marry Bruce Lee. And I married someone relatively close. So, but yeah, him and Bruce Lee and his physical, you know, fitness and abilities really inspired me. And we're kind of growing up, my dad kind of always talked about martial arts. So I kind of had that mindset already. But, you know, like physically, my family, they're not healthy. Like I'm like the only healthy one, thank God, and physically active. But thankfully, I maintained that mindset somehow growing up, even though it wasn't around me. But when it came to when I decided I was going to have my children, I immediately knew that I'm going to start a legacy. And again, it was very intentional. I was intentional even with who I married, because like I said, he's a martial artist. So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to breed thoroughbreds, you know, these are gonna be like some tough kids. But from the beginning, I decided that I was gonna have a code, a literal code. So what you might call it a lifestyle, but I just again changed the word to a code, or you can say a standard. And I was gonna set that standard for myself and then hope that they would be impacted by it. So that would be to always remain physically fit, because I wanted to be a mom that could, you know, move around and be active with my kids. I wanted to be that person. And I set that intention, 30 years ago. And I just stuck to it. And it really impacted them, because I remember even when my younger kids were born, the older kids knew that the first thing that's going to happen in the day after we pray is mom's going to go work out. Like that's always happened. I feel like as women, we don't make ourselves a priority, and we don't make our health a priority. We make everyone else around us a priority. But for me, I said, you know, I'm the leader of my family. So I have to be physically fit. I have to be healthy to take care of them. And it was no questions asked that was going to happen. So the older ones would bunks the babies in the bunkster and wait till I was done, because that's when you're getting breakfast, when I'm done. And then as they got older, I remember even on the summer holidays, my kids would be running the stairs and doing little crunches, and not because I was telling them, because for them, this was just so normal.
Yeah.
And that was probably, you know, one of the best things I ever did, was to just give them this thing that just became normal. Like for them to not, you know, get up and work out is like, what's that? Like, you must be ill, right? You must be ill, because otherwise, why wouldn't you be doing something? So I think, yeah, it's very important to not just talk the talk. You know, you have to walk the walk. You have to be what you're telling everyone else to be. You have to be that person, and it's a lot easier. Yeah.
Love that. I like the code. I think the code and you setting that standard. And it is modeling, you know, absolutely. If you're a product of your environment at the end of the day, you know, if you can see it, you know you can be it. And I think that you've clearly done such an amazing job inspiring your little ones and keeping them moving. And I like the little crunches. I can just see it now. I love that. I'm just going to come back to you, Hayley. This just kind of last question to wrap up the Q&A is, a lot of the time with working out, we talk about what we're doing. So that might be gym or running or whatever that might be. That we know there's so much more to that. So there's the holistic support and I guess the residual stuff that maybe isn't as talked about. So we talked about breathing and stretching and posture and rest as well. So just keen to get your thoughts on, you know, how important you think that is, how you incorporate that into your own personal regime, but also that of your clients as well.
No, definitely. Being completely honest, that's my main struggle. That would be my one struggle, is the rest time, but I always try and make it a priority too, because I know how important it is. I stated earlier how my blood pressure takes a hit if I don't relax, basically, and that's it. Your body's just getting more and more stressed and uptight. So even at nighttime, foam roller, best friend. Just roll around on it. Just open your back, open your chest. If you're sitting at your desk, you're stressed in work, I know it's easier said than done. 2 minutes, push everything away, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and literally just, you'll feel yourself relaxing. It goes all one-on-one again, mental health, physical health. You're stressed, your mind is stressed, your mind is stressed, your body's stressed. Yeah. So we just have to try and calm it on, especially when things get, when you get a bit overworked. Stretching for sure, before and after a workout, I am very passionate about, as you can imagine. Stretching before workout is telling our bodies we're going to be doing something. It's less injury, and afterwards it's also telling our bodies that we're stopping. It's then resting everything, so we don't get such bad DOMs, we don't get so sore, we don't feel rubbish the next day, we don't feel all uptight. And even if you can't get a workout at nighttime in front of the TV, 10 minutes instead of sitting on TikTok or wherever, just literally sit in an open position, have your legs in a star, have your chest open, and just breathe and just stretch your body. And I promise you, your mental health will feel so much better, and your physical health for your next workout. It's just something that's very much ignored, I would say, a lot in the fitness industry, and even by personal trainers. Personal trainers like, you'll go and stretch by yourself, won't you? Yeah. Okay, well, we'll just leave this there. And then they leave, and you're like,
yeah.
No, that's part of the session. That's, if not one of the most important parts of the session, that we should be teaching, especially clients, how to stretch before and after. Yeah, it's so important. So, and it makes, as I promise you, mentally feel 100% better. So, yeah.
I definitely agree on that. I've seen a lot of and I don't mean to name and shame, but it does tend to be male trainers or individuals who they don't believe in stretching. I'm just like, why?
We don't need it. We don't need any stretching.
No, I don't know. But
and females are so different too, because we're more flexible in regards to our hips and stuff. We need more stretching. It's very, very important. Whereas I think males, because they are more parallel, that's the only way I can put it, they don't have anything that's dislocating inside and out and stuff. That I think then they just don't. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Okay, yeah, why not? Thank you, Hayley. And lastly, because you're such an inspiration, Rabia, if you were to give one piece of advice for everyone on the call in terms of, helping them maybe set that intention, or just a motivating quote that's really helped you, what would that one quote be, or something, piece of advice?
Motivating quote. I would like to say that, nothing is impossible, and to start where you're at. I think a lot of people think if, I'm 39 or I'm like wherever I am, and I can't possibly get fit now, and this kind of mindset, and or I have certain kind of health conditions. As you can see, both myself and Hayley have health conditions, but I think to try to start to work on having those limiting beliefs, that's what you need to focus on, because everyone is capable of much more than they think. This is the biggest thing for me. I meet people and I just look at them and it's like, we see each other's potential, and you don't tend to even see your own. You kind of downplay your own. So yeah, I think it's very important that you make health your priority. My mantra is health is wealth. It should come before everything, because obviously you can't work, you can't take care of family, you can't do anything if you're ill. So yeah, just start where you're at, and to be consistent, and believe in yourself a little bit. Be your own best friend. A lot of us would never tell our best friends things that we tell ourselves. We look in the mirror and I go like, oh my God, your thighs. We would never say that to our best friend. So I try to practice just being my own best friend. And one of the things, I do some corny things, guys. I do some corny things. My kids are like cringing, but you know, it works for me. I literally talk to my body parts and I kiss them. I kiss my legs. I kiss my arm. I hug myself. I really think you need to fall in love with yourself, fall in love with your flaws, with everything, with and just, yeah, you know, just be your own best friend and fall in love with yourself and start believing in yourself a lot more. Yeah.
100%. I hope that in the chat in the next few weeks, we're going to just see lots of like pictures of people, you know, like kissing everybody. Yeah. But it's so true. We don't do enough of it. And I think it's a really valid point. And as much as maybe your kids might, you know, have kind of laughed about it, I think there'll be a lot in that for their future development and, you know, kind of just how that's made them perceive their kind of their own self. So thank you for that, Rabia. Really, really helpful. Any questions for either Rabia or Hayley before we go into just the wrapping up of looking at our video from Fit for Feb?
Happy Fit for Feb Day 1.
Thanks, Fit for Feb. 3 very slow but complete miles done. I'm absolutely chuffed. First run of the year. Wouldn't have done it without you.
And one person takes the top prize. That is none other than Lesley.
Well, Fit for Feb is over, but after all the great motivation and camaraderie, the exercise goes on. It's such a successful thing, really gets you going after the dark days and weeks of winter. And just knowing that you've got pals out there and something to make you get up and do some exercise in the morning really, really helps. It's an absolute win-win situation. But especially if you win the challenge, which I'm thrilled to have become the champion for this year. Can't believe it, but so excited to start my adventures with Hayley at Mindful Movement and the superstars at Red Sail. Fantastic. Get me back to Cayman so I can get out there and do these great things. Lots of love and thanks to you all. Here's to Fit for Feb 2024.
Let's go, Lesley. And the winner of the prizes that we have received from Hayley, Mindful Movement, and also from Red Sail Sports. Very excited to present it to her. She's been in it from the beginning. This is our 3rd year doing Fit for Feb, Prove You Move To. Now, big congrats to Lesley. We also are going to do a quick prize draw with everyone who participated in Fit for Feb this year. So I have my little, can you see there, my fancy tool. All right. And names are in here, all of our participants for this year. Drum roll. Da, 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 and choose a name. All right. Let's see who it is. Jamil. Jamil is our winner, and he's located in Florida. And Jamil, you win one of these lovely Cayman Connection running shirts. Yay. And we will get that to you. We also have a little gift, and we wanted to award it tonight. And that little gift is to a member of Fit Club who's been encouraging others and also just, I would say, smashing it and really being a great example of what is possible. It's kind of been an encouragement to all of us. And we would like to send Rabia a lovely gift from Cayman Connection to 2 thumbs up. We're proud to have you as a member of CC Fit Club. And we are looking for the next big thing you're going to do, which I know is the London Marathon. So we're going to be cheering you on for that as well.
I hope you're coming out, Rita.
I can beat them, man. I can beat her. You can hear my mouth. So we're really happy to have her as part of Cayman Connection. And we're going to send a little gift your way also, just to say congratulations and keep up the good work. And we want to continue to be encouraged also. So happy to always have your comments in the chat.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just a big thank you to Hayley and Rabia. Thank you for joining us and for your contributions and for everyone who's got involved. It's been so lovely to see you, and I hope that you've got some exciting movement plans after this call. If not, then just chill on the sofa. But obviously, if you're not in the group, make sure that you get yourself in the WhatsApp group and carry on, encouraging and sharing. We always love to see it and hear it. But yeah, have a lovely day/evening, depending on where you are in the world. But thank you for joining.